First contact's deception. The holographic display in the Lunar Observatory's command center flickered with an incoming transmission. Dr. Sarah Chen watched as pristine alien vessels emerged from the dark side of Saturn, their crystalline hulls refracting starlight in ways that seemed to defy physics. Beautiful, she thought, and absolutely deadly. They're broadcasting on all frequencies, Lieutenant Marcus Rodriguez reported, his fingers dancing across the quantum interface, claiming to be representatives of the Helios Confederation. Say they come in peace. Sarah allowed herself a small, grim smile. Of course they did, just like the previous 3 alien species who had approached Earth in the past decade, each one bearing gifts, offering friendship, and carrying enough firepower to glass a continent. Status of the Prometheus grid, she asked, her neural implant already connecting to the station's deeper systems. Online and undetected, Director Marcus confirmed. They have no idea we can see through their stealth fields. Count is 37 capital ships, with approximately 200 smaller vessels in escort formation. The massive hologram showed the alien fleet's true configuration, not the diplomatic arrangement they were projecting, but a classic invasion pattern developed over countless conquered worlds. Their tactical database had been very specific about that. Sarah opened a secure quantum channel to Earth Defense Command. Protocol Cassandra is in effect. I repeat, Protocol Cassandra is in effect. The Helios Confederation matches all parameters from the Arcturus archive. The response was immediate. Understood, Director Chen. Initiating Operation Lighthouse. Stand by. Around the solar system, humanity's carefully hidden defenses began to power up. Quantum sensors embedded in asteroid belts came online. Stealth platforms emerged from dimensional pockets where they had waited for years. And deep beneath Earth's oceans, in massive underground caverns and scattered across a dozen moons, humanity's real fleet prepared for war. They're requesting permission to approach Earth, Marcus reported, suggesting a meeting with our world leaders. Sarah nodded. Accept their request. Direct them to the diplomatic coordinates we prepared. Let's see if they follow the exact script the archive predicted. The alien fleet moved with perfect precision, their formation so mathematically exact it was almost painful to watch. They had no idea that their every move was confirming humanity's suspicions. No idea that their first contact was anything but. Signal from EDC, Marcus announced. Operation Lighthouse is green. All defensive grids are powered and masked. Quantum Fleet is in position. Sarah activated her neural links command protocols. The familiar sensation of connecting to humanity's true military network washed over her. Through it, she could feel the readiness of thousands of crews, the quiet hum of weapons that no alien species believed humans could possess, the determined focus of commanders who had trained for this moment their entire lives. The archive was right about everything, she mused, watching the alien fleet settle into position. Their approach vector, their formation, even their choice of transmission frequencies. They really do run everything by their tactical templates. Approaching final confirmation point, Marcus reported. If the archive is correct, they should be powering up their main weapon systems in 3, 2, 1. Right on schedule. The alien fleet's energy signatures shifted. Hidden weapon ports began to open, shields strengthening to combat levels, all while their diplomatic broadcasts continued to speak of peace and friendship. Sarah opened a channel to all Earth Defense Forces. All units, this is Director Chen. The Helios Confederation has just confirmed the Arcturus Archive's predictions with 100% accuracy. They are hostile. They are predictable. And they have no idea what they're walking into. Initiate Operation Lighthouse. Authorization code. Humanity's reply. Across the solar system, humanity's hidden strength revealed itself. The trap was set. The Helios Confederation was about to learn why the Arcturus archive had included one final warning. Above all else, never underestimate humanity's capacity for preparation. They are the only species we have encountered who treat peace and war as two sides of the same coin. and they are masters of both. The real first contact was about to begin, and it would not proceed according to any alien tactical template. The art of human warfare. Fleet Commander Zara Hayes stood on the bridge of the ESS Prometheus, watching the Helios fleet through quantum-enhanced sensors. Their ships hung in space like perfect crystalline sculptures, each position mathematically precise, every movement calculated to the microsecond. It was beautiful in its way, and completely predictable. Enemy fleet holding position at designated coordinates, her tactical officer reported. Their weapon systems are hot, but still masked behind diplomatic protocols. How long until they realize their scans aren't penetrating our stealth grid? Zara asked, her neural link feeding her constant updates from across the solar system. Based on their current scan patterns, about 3 minutes, they're following their standard first contact protocols to the letter. Zara allowed herself a small smile. The Arcturus archive had been very specific about how the Helios Confederation conducted their peaceful first contact missions. 37 conquered species had provided very detailed intelligence about their methods. All battle groups report ready, her XO announced. Quantum grid is charged and synchronized. Dimensional pocket fleet is in position. Through her neural link, Zara could feel the readiness of her forces. Unlike the rigid, AI-driven formations of the Helios fleet, human ships were scattered across seemingly random positions. To conventional tactical analysis, their deployment would appear chaotic, almost amateur. That was exactly the point. They're launching their diplomatic shuttle, the sensor officer reported. Right on schedule. Signal from Director Chen. Communications added. Operation Lighthouse is moving to Phase 2. Zara opened a channel to all Earth forces. All units, execute Pattern Darwin. Show them why predictability is extinction. The battle began without warning. Human ships phased into normal space from their dimensional pockets, appearing at angles that violated every principle of conventional space combat. The Helios fleet's perfect formation suddenly became a liability as quantum torpedoes detonated in spaces their tactical computers had declared impossible to target. Multiple direct hits, tactical reported with professional satisfaction. Their shield geometries are failing. They can't adapt to weapons that ignore mathematical probability. The Helios ships try to respond, their AI combat systems attempting to calculate optimal countermeasures. But human vessels refuse to follow predictable patterns. Each captain fought with individual style, their neural links allowing human intuition to work in perfect harmony with quantum technology. Their flagship is attempting to coordinate a response. Communications reported. They're broadcasting in the clear. They're demanding to know how we're achieving these attack vectors. Send them our reply, Zora commanded. Let's see how their tactical computers handle this. Across all frequencies, human ships began broadcasting footage from Earth's military history. Ancient battles where seemingly inferior forces triumphed through unconventional tactics. Modern combat simulations showing how humanity had prepared for this exact scenario. The psychological impact was devastating. Their formation is breaking, Tactical announced. Multiple ships attempting independent action. Their command and control structure is fragmenting. Through her neural link, Zara could feel the confusion rippling through the enemy fleet. Their entire combat doctrine was based on perfect coordination, on every unit following optimal tactical protocols. They had no contingency for facing an enemy that turned chaos itself into a weapon. Launch the swarm, she ordered. From hidden bays across the solar system, millions of quantum-guided drones emerged. Each one was piloted by a hybrid AI built on human neural patterns, capable of making intuitive decisions that no conventional tactical computer could predict. They flowed between Helios ships like schools of predatory fish, finding impossible angles of attack, exploiting weaknesses that only human creativity could discover. Enemy fleet is attempting to retreat, Tactical reported. Their primary battle group is, Commander, their ships are firing on each other. Zara nodded grimly. Their AIs are attempting to enforce tactical doctrine while individual captains try to improvise. They're learning the hard way that you can't program creativity. The battle continued, but it was already over. The mighty Helios fleet, terror of 37 conquered worlds, was being systematically dismantled by an enemy that refused to fight according to their rules. Every attempt to establish a defensive pattern was countered before it could form. Every tactical calculation was rendered meaningless by attacks that seemed to ignore physics itself. Signal from Director Chen. Communications announced. Phase 3 is authorized. Zara opened a channel to all frequencies. To the remaining ships of the Helios Confederation, you came here expecting to find primitive savages. Instead, you found humanity. We've spent our entire history learning to fight, learning to adapt, learning to overcome enemies that seemed invincible. Your mistake wasn't in choosing to fight us. Your mistake was in thinking we wouldn't be ready for you. The response was immediate. Across the Helios fleet, ships began powering down their weapons. Their perfect formation had devolved into chaos, their tactical doctrine shattered by an enemy that turned unpredictability into an art form. As she watched the surrender unfold, Zara reflected that humanity's greatest weapon had never been their technology. It was their ability to take everything they learned from countless generations of conflict and turn it into something no alien tactical computer could comprehend. The art of human warfare. Unity in crisis. Deep beneath the Himalayan mountains, in a command center unknown to most of humanity, General Maya Patel watched the global response grid light up like a constellation. Representatives from every nation on Earth sat at their stations, their neural links synchronized to a degree that would have seemed impossible just decades ago. Status report from all sectors. She commanded, her augmented vision processing streams of data from across the planet. Asian defense grid fully operational, came the response from Beijing. Quantum shields at maximum power. European underground fleet launching now, Paris reported. All stealth systems nominal. African solar arrays redirecting power to planetary defense grid, Nairobi confirmed. One by one, every major command center reported in. Humanity's greatest secret wasn't their advanced technology or hidden fleets. It was their unity. While the Helios Confederation had watched Earth's nations maintaining a careful facade of rivalry and division, beneath the surface they had been working as one for decades. Signal from Fleet Commander Hayes, her communications officer announced. The Helios fleet is in disarray, but their reinforcements are arriving ahead of schedule. Quantum sensors detect 3 more battle groups entering the solar system. Maya nodded, unsurprised. The Arcturus Archive had warned them about this too. The Helios Confederation never committed their full strength to first contact. They always held forces in reserve, waiting to see if their initial diplomatic approach would succeed. Activate the Sol shield, she ordered. Around the sun, massive installations that had been hidden in the corona began to power up. They were humanity's greatest engineering achievement. A network of quantum field generators capable of controlling the very fabric of space-time within the solar system. Shield generators synchronizing, reported Dr. James Chen from the Lunar Observatory. Ready to initiate on your command. Maya opened a channel to all Earth forces. All units, this is General Patel. Operation Lighthouse is proceeding to final phase. Prepare for full-spectrum warfare. Through her neural link, she could feel the readiness of Earth's combined forces. Every soldier, every ship, every weapons platform was connected through a quantum network that allowed them to fight as one while maintaining individual initiative. It was a combination that alien tactical computers found impossible to counter. The reinforcing Helios fleet emerged from hyperspace in perfect attack formation, their ships arranged in geometric patterns optimized by millennia of combat experience. They launched their first strike immediately, thousands of energy weapons firing in precise coordination, and found themselves shooting at empty space. Sol shield active, Dr. Chen reported with satisfaction. Spatial distortion fields operating at 100% efficiency. Their targeting computers can't compensate for the localized changes in physical laws. Maya watched as humanity's full capabilities were finally revealed. Ships emerged from dimensional pockets throughout the solar system, attacking from vectors that the Helios tactical computers registered as impossible. Ground-based weapons platforms fired graviton beams that ignored conventional physics. And through it all, human forces moved with a combination of coordinated purpose and individual creativity that no eye could predict. Their command channels are in chaos, communications reported. They're trying to understand how we're coordinating our attacks without a centralized tactical network. Send them our response, Maya ordered. Across all frequencies, Earth began broadcasting the truth. Images of underground cities where humanity had prepared for this moment. Footage of training exercises where soldiers learned to combine neural link technology with natural intuition. Documentation of how Earth's nations had maintained a convincing facade of division while working together to prepare for exactly this scenario. Multiple Helios ships attempting to retreat, Tactical announced. Their formation is completely broken, fleet cohesion dropping below 20%. Through the quantum network, Maya felt the satisfaction of Earth's combined forces. Every nation, every military, every soldier working in perfect harmony, while maintaining the individual creativity that made humans so unpredictable in combat. Send word to Fleet Commander Hayes, she ordered. Begin the final phase. Show them what happens when humanity stops holding back. As the battle reached its climax, Maya reflected on the long path that had led to this moment. Earth's nations had learned the hard way that their divisions made them vulnerable. But in preparing for this threat, they had discovered something extraordinary. True unity didn't mean sacrificing individuality. It meant combining their strengths in ways that no external force could comprehend or counter. The Helios Confederation was about to learn that humanity's greatest weapon wasn't their technology or their tactics. It was their ability to work as one without losing what made each of them unique. Breaking their logic, Captain Elena Santos stood in the captured Helios command ship's neural center, surrounded by crystalline interfaces that pulsed with alien data streams. Her team of quantum hackers worked silently, their neural links interfacing with the alien systems in ways the Confederation had never imagined possible. How long until we can access their tactical database? She asked, watching as human intuition met alien logic in digital space. Their security is interesting, Lieutenant Raj Patel replied, his fingers dancing across holographic controls. It's perfect, mathematically. Every algorithm exactly optimized, which makes it completely predictable. Elena smiled. The Helios Confederation had built their entire civilization on the premise that perfect logic was unbeatable. They were about to learn why that was their greatest weakness. We're in, Raj announced. Their entire combat doctrine is basically one massive flowchart. Every possible scenario mapped out. Every response calculated to 16 decimal places. Through her neural link, Elena accessed the stolen data. The Helios tactical computers were marvels of engineering, capable of calculating millions of combat scenarios per second. But they could only work with what they were programmed to expect. Begin Operation Mindrake, she ordered. Let's show them what happens when you face an enemy that doesn't follow your rules. Across the solar system, human forces began implementing combat strategies that no alien tactical computer could process. Ships performed maneuvers that violated basic physics, only possible because their human crews intuitively understood how to exploit the quantum fields they'd created. Ground forces used techniques from ancient Earth martial arts, their movements guided by instinct rather than calculation. Their command structure is starting to fragment, Raj reported with satisfaction. Their tactical computers are throwing up error messages. Some are actually crashing from logical paradoxes. Helena opened a channel to the Helios fleet. Attention Confederation forces. You're probably wondering why your perfect tactical systems are failing. The answer is simple. Humans don't think like you do. Through captured communication channels, she began broadcasting footage that the Helios tactical computers couldn't process. Human children playing games with rules they made up as they went along. Jazz musicians improvising melodies that followed no mathematical pattern. Artists creating works that defied logical analysis. Their flagship is experiencing total systems failure, Tactical reported. Their primary AI can't reconcile our behavior with any known combat doctrine. Elena nodded, watching through her neural link as the mighty Helios fleet began to break apart. Ships with crashed computers drifted in space. Others, their crews attempting to fight without AI assistance, found themselves hopelessly outmaneuvered by human forces that combined technology with instinct. "Send the final message," she ordered. Across all frequencies, human forces began broadcasting in the Helios language. "Your logic is perfect, but life isn't logical. Humanity learned that lesson through millennia of evolution. We don't follow patterns. We break them. We don't optimize. We improvise. We don't calculate. We feel." The effect was devastating. The Helios Confederation had built their entire society on the premise that everything could be reduced to mathematical certainty. Facing an enemy that turned unpredictability into a weapon wasn't just defeating them. It was breaking their understanding of how the universe worked. Multiple ships requesting surrender protocols. Communications reported. Their crews are. They're asking for asylum. They want to understand how we think. Elena felt a moment of sympathy for the alien forces. Their perfect society had never prepared them for this. They had no context for an enemy that treated combat like an art form rather than a science. "Accept their surrender," she ordered, "and prepare to receive their representatives. It's time they learned that there's more to existence than perfect logic." As she watched the Helios fleet power down their weapons, Elena reflected that humanity's greatest victory wasn't defeating their technology. It was showing them that their fundamental understanding of reality was incomplete. In breaking their logic, humans had given them something precious, the possibility of growth beyond their self-imposed limitations. The war was ending not with the destruction of an enemy, but with the potential for something new, a bridge between logic and intuition, between calculation and creativity, between what was perfect and what was possible. A new galactic order. Ambassador Sarah Chen stood at the podium of the newly constructed Galactic Assembly, her position a far cry from her former role as director of the Lunar Observatory. The vast chamber held representatives from over 30 spacefaring civilizations, including the reformed Helios Confederation. Above them, quantum holograms broadcasted the proceedings to trillions across the known galaxy. 3 months ago, she began, her voice carrying the weight of recent history. Humanity revealed its true nature to the galaxy. Today, we gather not to celebrate victory, but to forge a new path forward. The assembled delegates watched in silence as the chamber's quantum display activated, showing the solar system as it now existed. The Sol shield glimmered like a web of light, humanity's ships moving with their characteristic blend of precision and unpredictability. The Helios Confederation thought they found a primitive species ripe for conquest, she continued. Instead, they discovered something unprecedented, a civilization that had spent its entire history preparing not just for war, but for peace. Through her neural link, Sarah activated the second phase of the presentation. The display shifted to show Earth's true achievements. Vast underground cities designed for both shelter and cultural exchange. Universities where human creativity met alien logic. Training centers where different species learned from each other's strengths. We kept ourselves hidden not out of fear, but out of wisdom. We watched, we learned, and we prepared. Not just for conflict, but for this moment, when we could help shape a galaxy that embraces both logic and intuition, both unity and individuality. In the front row, the Helios High Commander's crystalline form shimmered with what Sarah had learned to recognize as deep thought. The Confederation's integration of human insights had already begun transforming their society, their rigid perfection giving way to new possibilities. Earth does not seek dominion, Sarah declared. We propose instead a new form of galactic cooperation, one that recognizes that true strength comes not from enforcing uniformity, but from embracing diversity. The chamber's quantum field hummed as she activated the final display. Plans for joint research projects, cultural exchange programs, and a combined defense force that would unite the best aspects of all member species. We offer our universities to your students, our training facilities to your defenders, and our insights to your societies. In return, we ask only for genuine partnership and a commitment to growth beyond the limitations of any single species perspective. The response was immediate and overwhelming. Species that had once viewed each other with suspicion or contempt began engaging in earnest discussion. The Helios representatives, their crystalline forms now shimmering with previously impossible colors, were already deep in conversation with organic races they had once dismissed as inferior. Let the record show, Sarah concluded, that on this day we begin a new chapter in galactic history, not through conquest or submission, but through the recognition that every species has something valuable to contribute. Humanity's gift to the galaxy isn't our technology or our military might. It's our understanding that true greatness comes from combining different ways of thinking, different ways of being. As the assembly erupted in approval, Sarah felt the weight of the moment through her neural link. Across Earth and its colonies, humans watched with pride as their long preparation bore fruit. They had prepared for war, but achieved something far more valuable: the opportunity to help guide the galaxy toward a future that was neither perfectly logical nor purely intuitive, but a harmonious blend of all possibilities. The Arcturus Archive had warned about humanity's capacity for warfare, but it had missed something crucial: their even greater capacity for transformation. In revealing their strength, they had opened the door to something unprecedented: a galactic civilization that could be both unified and diverse, both powerful and wise. The real work was just beginning, and humanity was ready to lead the way not through dominance, but through example. The galaxy would never be the same, and that was exactly what they had hoped for all along.